Good day, everybody. Thanks for joining in to Direction Forward Memphis. Once again, this is Neil Lewis with you and ready to jump into what's going on here in Memphis. Again, please like, comment, subscribe to these videos. Please watch and participate if you so please, but we do want to know what your opinion is and be able to interact back and forth. You can reach me in the comment section of the individual videos, or you can reach me via email, directionforwardmemphis@gmail.com. So it's a beautiful day here in Memphis, and I want to let everybody know. So right now we're going over some of the stories that have just been released for whatever reason, just things that have been going on within the city of Memphis and within our communities. But they won't always be, we won't stick to the negative in nature, because I feel like that is something that's on the news more often than not. Obviously, we have some things going on in Memphis that might be negative in nature, but there's positive things too. So I'm going to do my best to highlight those things also, and go do research to find some things that are going on that are different than what you would normally see on the news or headlines that are dropped on your phone for one reason or the other. But there was something going on off of Lamar at Church's Chicken. And what is this, Lamar? Let's see. I think this deal Park. It's on Park near Simi's. And so this would put it over in the Orange Mound area. But let's just see what's happening in this story. This is an unfortunate one, and obviously there must be more to more than what's on the surface for this particular situation. But let's check it out and see what's going on with it, because we don't want senseless things happening. You go to work one day, you expect to be home at the end of the night. But so we'll jump into the video first, then we'll read the actual article and see if we can. Let's get an opinion about it.
Find her after an employee at a fast food restaurant was gunned down. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Daryl Green.
And I'm Dominique Dillon. Darcy Thomas has the night off. This happened at the Church's Chicken on Park Avenue near Simi's last night. That's where we find Fox 13 Sierra Jordan. She's live in Orange Mound. Sierra, police say this started from an argument?
Good evening, Dom. Daryl, police say the heated argument happened between the employee and the woman that you mentioned. They say the argument happened at this drive-through window behind me. Then shots were fired, killing the employee. Now the Orange Mound community is now on edge after another senseless act of violence.
I pray to God that I make it home every day, and that's just such an unfortunate place for Memphis to be in, because as long as I've been a Memphian, I've never seen it like this.
A heated verbal dispute turned deadly at Church's Chicken at 2963 Park Avenue. Police say an employee was working at the drive-through window. This woman with purple hair driving a teal compact SUV argued with the employee at the window. After the SUV drove off, police say the employee went outside of Church's to get some air. Just moments later, that SUV came back and shots were fired, hitting the employee. She was taken to the hospital where she died.
Like, if you're upset with someone, if you're angry with someone, if you're frustrated with someone, it should never get to the point where you are stalking someone at their job and then ultimately murdering them. Your life isn't worth more than that.
Brittany Thornton is an Orange Mound native and represents Shelby County Commission District 10. Thornton says recent events, including the Church's Chicken shooting, her best friend getting robbed at gunpoint, and a mass shooting at Orange Mound Park in April, shows this community is lacking resources, including for mental health.
It's important for us to come together to communicate what we need. We know that these incidents are beneath us, and we need to speak up about the community that we will have.
We reached out to Church's Chicken about the fatal shooting. They sent us this statement that reads, "We are deeply saddened by the tragic loss of one of our teammates. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family during this difficult time. We are working closely with the Memphis Police Department on their ongoing investigation." Now, Church's Chicken spokesperson says the employee had been working here for about a year. My photographer and I spent the afternoon here, and we saw a lot of customers coming here to Church's thinking that they're open, but the spokesperson said they will be closed within the next few days. Now, they also said if you have information related to the shooting, please reach out to Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH. Dominique?
That's Fox 13 Sierra Jordan.
Yeah, so that's an amazing thing. So from my understanding, also, I think that what's going on, and we'll jump into it, but I think that they may have located or not located. They're on a manhunt. They know who the lady is that was in the SUV that circled around and did whatever she did to Miss Anita, who is the victim in this situation. And it's what was going on with her that day. Now, I understand that it had to have been something more than had to do with a record or a order. It had to have been something larger than that, or just carryover, or maybe she was just having a bad day and decided, and she took it out on the wrong person, But it's sad that a lady had to lose her life. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the actual story says, and then we'll jump into the follow-up on that also. So Memphis police have you seen this woman? And then they put a picture of her on the website. Memphis police want to find her after an employee was murdered at Church's Chicken on Park Avenue near Sims on Monday night. According to the Memphis Police Department, officers responded just after 9 p.m. to a shooting at the fast food restaurant in Orange Mound. The officers arrived to find an employee who had been shot. The heated verbal dispute began over what police confirmed to be over an order. Police said the worker, who family identified as Anitra West, was working the drive-through window of the restaurant when a woman with purple hair driving a teal compact SUV argued with the employee at the window. After the SUV drove off, police said West went outside of the restaurant to get some air. Just moments later, the SUV came back firing shots and hitting West. West was taken to the hospital where she died. And, tough. You can't even go to work and not have to worry about having to argue with a customer or have a difference of opinion, I guess, at the end of the day with the customer and have something happen to you. You have to be on your square, head on a swivel at all times, have to have your alert up. There's no room for relaxing in these streets right now, at least. And that's a shame because this obviously had to have been over something that was small in nature. It had to have been real small that blew up into something very big now at this point. Someone's lost their life and another one is on the run if she hasn't been caught yet. So let's see if we can find out more about that. Give me one moment and we will. All right, so I have two more things that we could take a look at. So I have an article here about Mrs. Anitra West. And so manhunt underway after Church's Chicken worker killed. And this is obviously published by Newsweek. But let's see what the article says. A manhunt is underway for the alleged shooter of a Tennessee woman who was killed after getting into an argument while working at Church's Chicken on Monday. The Memphis Police Department responded to Church's Chicken shortly after 9 p.m. I wonder what time that actual incident happened. Officials found one victim, later identified as 48-year-old Anitra West, outside of the restaurant. She was transported to Regional 1 Hospital, where she later died from her injuries. Officials said a woman with purple hair drove her teal-colored SUV to the restaurant's drive-thru and began arguing with West. When the woman appeared to drive away, West went outside for some fresh air. Police said a gunshot was then heard, and surveillance video shows the car speeding away. Investigators identified 45-year-old Monica Williams as the woman behind the shooting. A warrant has been issued for her, charging her with first-degree murder. Officials found and towed Williams' vehicle on Tuesday morning, but they have not found her yet. Anyone with information about this incident, and you can do whatever you know, is being asked to call Crime Stoppers, and so that's the telephone number. And so at least they've identified the woman in the video that was driving that car. They have the car now, obviously. That car is for sure sticking out. I can tell you that much. It's for sure sticking out. You're gonna find a teal-colored SUV, and it looked like this type of car was might have been like a Buick or a Mazda or something like that, just by looking at this rear tail light. I don't think it's an Infiniti. It could be any number of things. She looks like she has I don't know, what is that, a car seat in the back? Well, I'm glad. Well, I wish somebody else was in the car with us, because maybe this wouldn't have happened if that was the case. It must have been a heated argument. And we have one more article here. So, Monica Williams. This article is about the victims, Miss Anitra West. Her ex-husband says killing was over more than just chicken. So Lorenzo West Jr. says the last conversation he had with his ex-wife, Anitra West, was about getting back together. I told her I wanted to shoot my shot, he said. I wanted another try because I don't want anybody else. But that won't happen after Anitra West was gunned down Monday night while working at Church's Chicken in Orange Mound, allegedly in a dispute over an order, according to police. A warrant has been issued for Monica Williams on a charge of first-degree murder. As of Friday night, Williams was not booked into jail. So that would have been last night. I'm just glad they issued a warrant for her arrest, Lorenzo West said. Officers responded to a shooting at Church's Chicken, 2963 Park Avenue in Orange Mound around 9 p.m. Police say the female employee, identified as Anitra West, was working when Williams came through the drive-thru. It was confirmed by MPD on Thursday that the two women got into a dispute over a food order. Williams, who was driving a teal-colored SUV, drove off the lot. West walked outside to get some air. A few minutes later, a gunshot was heard, and the teal-colored SUV was seen on video speeding off the parking lot. According to MPD, West was found outside of the business. She was taken to Regional 1, where she later died. West, who says Orange Mound is a small community, says he has family who knew Williams. He disputes that the killing was over a fast food order, saying he thinks it was personal. I know Anitra was too important to be killed about some food. It wasn't about no food. It was about something. It was something somebody took personal and couldn't let it go, he said. Once you get past words in Memphis, everybody knows how it turns out. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of situations that boil over and become something that they don't necessarily need to be. It becomes something that it doesn't need to be. I never understood if somebody says something to you. I mean, I understand disrespect, and respect is, it's a thing that, hey, look, that's why if you're, I don't want to say an honorable person, but if you have, everybody should be dealing with everybody else with respect anyways. And then the people in it, if you have respect for yourself, I'm not going out on a limb here, but if you have respect for yourself, some situations don't even warrant you responding to it with a certain type of energy. Sometimes, there's a lot of times where I just let things go. There's some things that I just can't get into. I won't even participate in that thing if it's not a consequence to me. So I'm sure maybe somebody did say something. Maybe she said something back to her. It started off, and you know how you get smart with somebody, and then you flip back around, and you might say something crazy to them. They say something crazy to you. Then you feel like you need to respond. I don't know if anything disrespectful in nature as far as like an action took place before that final thing where she decided she was going to shoot somebody. But even then, I mean, it doesn't call for somebody losing their life. The order couldn't have been more than $10, $20. And so because you don't like how somebody spoke to you, or even if it was something personal, or even if it was something that was outside of work that ended up occurring in that situation at her job and coming through the drive-through, which it doesn't sound like it was, but it still doesn't warrant her that happening. Stop always trying to grab a gun. Now, I mean, really, at the end of the day, you have to let things go. You know what I'm saying? You can't get so rolled up in something, be so attached to it that you refuse to, you're letting somebody get to your ego. That's all it is. And Miss West, she definitely was worth more than whatever the situation was. I mean, really, if you have to get to it, then, I mean, I can understand. All right, so I'm gonna go outside the preview a little bit. I can understand a fight. Sometimes you just have to fight it out if that's what you want to do. But why grab the guns? Fighting, it needs to stop way before it even gets to that point. But I'm just saying, if you want to go that far with it, fight. But I mean, and that really is a staple of, okay, so the community. So we have all these things going on anyways. All these situations where there's gun violence, or like, you know, the mass shooting that happened over in Orange Mound back in April, where they try to turn it around with, you know, doing something at that park. We need to have more positive things happening than the negative things, the detrimental things, the things that harm. Because look, so a part of that family, Miss Anitra West, I don't know whether or not she had any children. She obviously had an ex-husband. She was 48 years old, but my mother gets killed. And so I'm 43 on Thursday. My kids are 20. I had them young. So that may be most people's scenario. But what if I had younger kids, right? And they've experienced that violence. Lord forbid anything happen to me. And they grow up with a chip on their shoulder. And it's different with a mother, because a mother is the provider and she's always with the kids. And, you know, so now you have a staple, a cornerstone of your life removed. And then so now I have a chip on my shoulder. I feel a certain type of way about everything, including my neighborhood. So if somebody turns back around and tries me in some certain type of way, what do you think my reaction is going to be? And it perpetuates over and over and over and over again. So I don't know. It all starts with calming down from square one. I can understand the respect deal. You know, respect is Respect is big. I'll even get turned around by respect. But there's limits to it. So if my home is violated, or it's not a situation where I can leave easily, then I'm probably going to react a certain type of way, because then you go into defensive mode. But if you're at a neutral place and you can just leave that place and not be a part of it, leave that place and not be a part of it. There's another story coming up here in a few minutes about somebody robbing somebody else at a gas station. For what? I already know myself. I don't have anything on me. As far as money, nothing worth taking. You can have all these bills. You know what I mean? But yeah, so this whole story is just a sad one. You know what I mean? And I know I've heard in other things that I've seen, interviews, where it says a negative energy existed in in the city. And to me, I don't even want to promote any of that. I don't feel like it does, but these are the types of things that make it seem like it does. Folks view walking away from a situation as weakness. And that's really not the case. It's strength. You got to be able to let things go. So I pray for Miss Anitra West's family. Healing and peace. And for Miss Monica Williams, hey, look, whatever happens, happens. What are you going to do about it, But I felt like that story there was something that was worth talking about. So that's the reason why I brought it up. Okay. So we'll obviously update that if we find out anything else as far as the manhunt is concerned, and whether or not they were able to catch up with her and hopefully find out what her side of things were. All right.